Unattended bikes usually suffer rust when subjected to weather, rain, salt, etc. In other cases, it might be the factory itself that has not properly coated certain steel parts of the bike to have a protective film to protect from the conditions that we mentioned previously, and as a result these parts may build up some surface rust in some places. This video seems to be such a case with this V-Strom, and it's made after a lot of discussion and questions on the social media. It is actually about what it seems to be a small issue with V-Stroms and their steering stem that tend to build minor surface rust very easily. I'm Dr. V-Strom, and I'm going to show you how to clean, treat and protect from rust the steering stem or similar motorcycle components in this video. You will need a pair of gloves, some clean rags, some plastic bags or any other protective mean to protect the motorcycle components such as the front fender and so on, 2 empty plastic cups, an old toothbrush, a small clean brush, some baking soda, and last but not least a product specialized for rust such as this Loctite, which is a neutralizer and creates a protective film to protect from the future rust. So this is, in my particular case, the surface rust that has built up in the steering stem, and as you can see it's minor, but there are other people within forums and the social media that have reported a more serious situation than mine. First, take one of the empty cups and put some baking soda inside. Then pour just a bit of water and stir. Ideally, you want to make this into a solid paste that will not drop down, so put as much baking soda as needed to create this solid form. Place the protective cover and the plastic bags on the cables like I have to not make a mess with the baking soda paste. Leave this to react for a few minutes depending on the level of rust that you have, or if your rust case is more serious, use something else like some other product specifically oriented to remove rust. Now it has been half an hour since we last applied the baking soda paste, and as I mentioned before, if your rust is not only surface rust or is some more serious case, a lot more rust, then you may consider using some other product, market product, specifically to remove the rust. In my case though, it was surface rust and the baking soda seems to be adequate, so now it's time to remove the paste and clean the area. As you can see, the surface rust has been removed completely, and we have already wiped with a wet clean rag any dirt, and now we will apply the specialized product. And now it's time to apply our special product, which is, as I mentioned, it's a neutralizer, a rust neutralizer, and it also covers and creates a protective film for the future rust. Put the special product into the second clean cup and with a thin brush apply the product in the area that was cleaned. As you can see, after the first layer application of the special product and according to the instructions, the area of application will gradually become black, especially in the areas where the rust was, because it reacts with the rust and creates or transforms it into a protective layer. After 15 minutes we will apply a second layer, and that's especially as in our case we do not intend to paint above it, and we only intend to leave this special product protective film as is. As you can see, after 15 minutes of the first application, almost the entire area has become black, and now we will apply the second layer to cover any small parts that have not been covered yet and to better create a protective film. So as you can see, it has now been 15 minutes more since the second layer application of the product, and it will treat even better within 24 hours, and hopefully the rust sensitivity problem with V-stroms in that particular area is properly taken care of. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check back for more videos, and as always, ride safe.